Welcome to Get Involved TV. For this episode, we thought we would try and get a conversation going about why it is that so many senior business leaders accidentally sabotage and undermine your best efforts to engage and motivate your employees. Why do senior businesses so often mess things up for you by mistake? We thought we'd go down to Madame Tussauds to meet some of them. Now, we can all think of loads of great leaders, visionary men and women who've inspired people to go above and beyond, who can get people to follow them anywhere. Churchill, Thatcher, Justin Bieber. Now, when it gets to the world of business, things get a little bit more difficult. Sure, we can all think of lots of famous businessmen and women, but are they great leaders? When you start to think about great leaders in business, a handful of very obvious candidates come to mind, but after that it gets really difficult. Here at Madame Tussauds, there are only 2 business people in the whole place, and this is one of them. Great business leaders inspire trust by the bucket load. And at a time when trust in business is at an all-time low, studies show that one of the biggest drivers of employee satisfaction is trust and confidence in our senior leaders. People want to be led by leaders who are credible, who are believable, and who lead by example. I'm sure we've all been there. You know how it works. You've been asked to create a program around your values of treating people like an individual and everyone counts. And you've turned that up across your business. You've used best practice, you've simplified, you've listened, you've involved, you've done it all right. Your audiences give you great feedback. So the next day, Frank from IT gets to work and he's really motivated about his job. He's psyched. He's going to really work on turning up those values with his team. And so he gets into the lift, and who should be in the lift with him on his way up to his floor but the CEO? And he says to the CEO, "Good morning, how are you?" And the CEO completely ignores him, blanks him. He's just focused on the crack brain. So what does Frank think? He thinks, what a load of hot air. I'm just going to go back to doing things the way I've always done them. I'm not going to change a thing. And you know what he's also going to do? He's going to tell stories about that all over the business. Now, do you think this guy here would ever make such a basic mistake as that? A familiar story? I'm sure you've got loads of examples of your own. It happens all the time. The story we heard was about an American CEO flying over to the UK to address a conference at his Guildford office in Surrey. And the audience in Guildford were delighted he'd flown all the way over to address them directly as part of their Authentic Conversations campaign. And so he stood on the stage and he addressed the audience and said, "Hello, London!" Immediately lost them all. So much damage done. Lost them in an instant. This man would never have done that. From a communication and involvement perspective, one of the most important leadership principles is that actions speak louder than words. It's not what you say, it's what you do. So how can we help our leaders to understand that everything they do is being watched and scrutinised and they're always on the stage? We don't really know why it is that some business leaders don't seem to get this obvious point. Why do they seem to have this blind spot? But just imagine how much more successful their businesses would be if they could just get this one single point. So, what's your view? Any answers, any solutions, any views, any opinions? Send in your comments. Get involved.